Hey everybody, my name is Tom. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, we're going to go over the 3D projects that I'm working on. We'll have some time-lapse videos and some videos of me working on a project that's in progress. So why don't right now I just give you guys a run-over of my setup that I have here. Okay, so I have two CR10 V2 set up and running. I have a forearm going for the Mark 39 Starboost. I'm working on getting some lights so we can see what's going on in there. Down below here I have another CR10S V2 that I need to set up, but I just got to find the spot for it right now. And as you can tell right now that my setups are in enclosures. It gets really cold in here, and that's why I have these enclosures here. Okay, and over here we have some of my failed prints. They were just too small. Actually, this first one was too small. The second one, it was weird. The files got skewed and it was printing off to the side. Over here I have just all of my rafts and all the supports that I don't need, and also there's some failed prints where it just popped off the print bed and then I decided just to put it aside. And also I have more back here that are failed prints that are just too small, or they just stopped midway through the print. Over here is where I keep all of my spools that were all used, and here are all the boxes for the filament that I use. I use the Hatchbox PLA 1.75 milliliter, and I have it in various different colors, as you can tell from my prints. Over here is my stand for my armor that I'm currently working on. As you can see, I only have the legs on there right now, and don't mind the mess. I'm still working on trying to get everything cleaned up and ready to go. Okay, so over here is where I have most of my tools. I have a caliper over there. I have a digital scale. I have a foam wire cutter, which I broke, which I gotta fix that. I got my CA glue. Also warning, make sure if you're using that, make sure you remember to wear gloves, because that glue will stick to your fingers and it will hurt trying to pull it off. And down here I have all of my different kinds of paints, primers, and I have one can of clear coat left. And in the back I have a brand new can of Bondo, which that I can use to fill any pieces that need to be filled. And over here is just more of my primer and more of other random red paints that I have for my printing. Okay. So, I'm going to show you a couple of the pieces that I have already. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we'll give it a try. Okay, so here is my big print that I've been working on. I've been working on the Iron Man Mark 39 Starboost. And as you can tell, I've got most of it together. Still working on trying to weld the magnets on there so I can connect the two pieces. As you can see, my prints are in a lot of different colors. But a lot of the prints have turned out really nice. And yeah, working on, like I said, I'm working on, working on trying to get those magnets on there. I have some buckles already installed, and please don't fall. Oh man. Stop. Okay. Again, excuse the mess. I'm working on trying to get everything situated here. Okay. So here's all of my parts that I've printed and are ready to be attached by straps and other random things. Okay, here's a thigh piece, which I just redid recently, and it fits a whole lot better than the last one. It was just a little too small and I couldn't pull it up my thighs. And I was able to weld it together pretty well, so that'll work. Okay, new bicep piece, which I just printed, and look how smooth that is. That's the advantage of using the enclosure. Since the temperature control is much easier, the parts turn out great. And we have the front neck piece, which turned out awesome. And the back part of it. And I'm still working on trying to figure out like how I'm going to strap everything. Here is one knee part, the top knee. I need to run some Bondo in there to clear up that little separation. I changed the color and for some reason it just didn't want it to go. And that's a bad part. Here's something I was pretty happy with. These hands turned out perfect. Nice and smooth. They fit. I have to separate the pieces and clip them together in order to get my hand in there, but it works. And the elbow. And one of my shoulder pieces that I have already did some primer on there and some Bondo work. And here's the unfinished part. I just sanded just a bit up top to get rid of some of those layer lines. I gotta hit that again with probably some 80 grit sandpaper, and that'll clear that right up. Okay. Here is one of the hip pods, which turned out great. Very, very nice. I had to clean up a couple things on there, but nothing too drastic that I need to do. And here's part of the abs. I had to separate this into multiple pieces because I could not fit those on my printer. With the CR10, it's only 300 by 300 by 400. Here is the back part of the abs, and that turned out great. This was before I had the enclosure. I guess the weather was actually pretty good. Work. And here's the other side of the abs. Had to change filament in the middle of the print, but it actually worked out pretty well. And not sure if I really like this piece, but it was just a little too big to fit on my printer, and I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of the filament trying to, with supports and everything. So I tried my best to print them and then weld them together as best as I possibly can. So it turned out all right. We'll see how when I get to the filler primer and everything to see if I could clear that up. I'm sure I can probably get most of that smoothed out with no problem. Okay. Here is the cod piece that I have pretty much mostly done. I have everything's together. I've got some straps on here that I'm still working on trying to figure out how to strap it all together.